Okay, so this is a locking hub. Essentially what it is there's an inner bushing that's split and an outer bushing that's split as well. And when these two halves get bolted together, so this side's tapped, this side is a hole, when these two halves get pulled together, this expands and this contracts, okay? Because there's a taper on either side of this. Now, where the silver screws are, if you get this super tight, the silver screws have a release hole. So you put a larger bolt in there and it'll, in here and here, and it'll release the back, it'll push the back. Okay, so this is it taken apart. So you can see that has a taper on either side. This has a taper on either side. And then the holes with the silver have a tapped hole, where the ones that don't are just a through bore, the ones with a black oxide. Okay, so the very first thing we're gonna do, okay, is these are kind of all wound out a bit. Get some pink Loctite, put a dab in every one of the holes. Okay. Now you can see they're recessed a little bit, so. And I'm not putting it on the bolt, I'm making sure to put it on the threads, okay? Okay. Now what we're gonna do is we have this idler jig. So this is the head pulley section of the conveyor frame, but we're just using these to set it. So essentially, these are just like jigs, because what sets this roll, and if you've looked at this drawing, essentially what it is there's a roll, the two collars, and these float in this roll. There's shaft spacers, and the shaft goes in. So this mounts onto this, but these can move in and out slightly. This can go all over, and then these can move inside the bearing. So we have to set the rolls to this and the shaft to these. Okay, so there's a couple things to set. Now these, when you're cutting these cross spacers, the spacers in the frame, that's gonna determine the width of your conveyor and the width of where all this stuff's set. So we're gonna put these in, okay? We're gonna put the shaft in. Okay. Gonna put our spacers on. We're gonna drop it right into this jig. Okay, so you can see right here and right here, that's what sets your shaft. These ones set your rollers. So now what we're going to do is, you can see this collar moves. So we're gonna try to grab this hub, and I'm gonna get a pair of pliers. I'm gonna pull that hub out. Okay, so the hub's pulled out. So now we're just gonna snug one of these up. Okay, so you can see this bushing here is set. We can just kind of, this bushing here is set right on the edge of this piece of aluminum. Okay, so we're just gonna kind of snug some of these up so it doesn't move, and we're gonna do the same thing to this side. We're gonna grab this hub, we're gonna pull it out so the bushing's there. And you see it kind of moved on me there. It's probably better with a ball and ball nose Allen key. Okay, so now we're gonna work around this, just snug them up. Okay, and we're gonna double check. Okay, the spacer is right on the edge of this. The roller here, this gap and this gap's consistent, and then here and here's consistent. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna snug these all up. Now we're going to just work our way around in a circular pattern and tighten it. doesn't go anymore. Now what you want to do is you want to do your tail pulley first, because this is going to set, it's going to make it easier, okay? Now we're going to just snug these up. And this isn't, you don't want to do this in a star pattern like some other configurations, like with bolts and stuff like this. Actually, these locking hubs, you want to go in a circular pattern. Anything tighter. Okay. And we're gonna just double check this. Okay. We're gonna flip it around. Double check that. So that's good. Now what you're gonna do for the drive pulley, and this one's already been done, but I'm gonna show you, is now you in theory shouldn't have to move any of these bolts, okay? If you start moving these bolts, you might have some issues. But now you just drop this one, you do your tail pulley like this, okay? And then this one just sets that. It doesn't have, this one sets the position over here, okay? So remember, the aluminum is what sets, the edge of the aluminum is what sets the spacer, and then this is what sets the roll. So, and then essentially the same thing for that.